Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get rich quickly while others continue struggling with the same financial difficulties? The truth is, there are common habits among the poor that the rich avoid at all costs, and that's exactly what makes all the difference. If you can identify and avoid these 7 habits, you'll be on your way to transforming your financial life quickly and consistently. You may find yourself working hard but not seeing the results you'd like. This can lead to frustration, that feeling of always chasing but never quite getting there. But what if I told you that by changing a few habits, you could start seeing a significant difference? The rich know this, and that's why they avoid the habits that are holding you back. In this video, I'm going to show you the 7 habits of the poor that the rich avoid, and by understanding this, you can start applying the same strategies that have led so many people to financial success. Stay with me until the end, because the solution is right in front of you, and ignoring it could be the mistake that will cost you dearly in the future. And now let's dive into the first habit. But before we start, just check if you're subscribed to the channel, because the upcoming videos will feature a series of content that will help you improve your financial life. You know, when you spend hours on your phone watching videos or scrolling through social media, that's what we call consuming content. Everyone does it, and there's nothing wrong with relaxing a bit. But have you ever stopped to think about how much time you spend doing that? When we spend the whole day watching, without realizing it, we're missing out on using that time to do something that could help us grow. And this is one of the biggest differences between people who have more money and those who have less. People who are financially successful use their time differently. While many are just watching videos or scrolling through social media, the rich are creating things. They make videos, write, invest time in learning something new, or start projects that could bring in money in the future. They don't just consume what others create. Instead of watching a YouTuber, they think, why not create my own channel? Instead of just playing a game, they might think about developing something, like an app or a business. Of course, there's nothing wrong with watching videos or browsing the internet for fun. But what do you do with most of your time? If you spend hours and hours just consuming, you're missing an opportunity to create something that could take you further. Rich people don't get stuck in entertainment all the time. They allow themselves to relax, but they know that time is very valuable and prefer to use it to grow and achieve their goals. Think of it like a balance. On one side, entertainment, and on the other, creation. The question is, how can you better balance this in your daily life? The time you spend just consuming could be used to learn something new, develop an idea, or even create something that others will want to consume. Financially successful people quickly learn that the secret isn't just how much they watch, but how much they produce and create. Creating can be simple. It could be starting a blog, making videos, learning a new skill, or even starting a small business. The important thing is that when you create, you're using your time productively and planting seeds that can grow and bear fruit in the future. The key here is to understand that consuming all the time may give you temporary satisfaction, but creating something can bring you long-term rewards. Let's talk about money in a very simple way. When you receive some money, whether it's from an allowance, salary, or a gift, what's your first reaction? Many people immediately think about how to spend it. Buying new shoes, a video game, or going out to eat something nice. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a huge difference between spending all your money right away and making it work for you. Rich people think in a different way. Instead of just spending it, they ask themselves, how can I use this money to have more in the future? And how do they do that? They invest. Investing is like planting a seed. You put the money somewhere, and over time, it grows and multiplies. For example, instead of spending all the money on a new phone, rich people prefer to invest that money in something that will generate more money in the future, like stocks, real estate, or even in education to learn more and earn more. The big secret is that money can be your ally if you know how to use it. When you spend it all at once, you get short-term satisfaction, but the money runs out. However, when you invest, the money can keep growing even while you sleep. And that's what rich people do. They know that to get wealthy, you need to use money wisely, investing in things that will bring more returns in the future. And investing doesn't have to be complicated. You can start small, with a savings account, an investment fund, or even a course that will help you learn a new skill. The important thing is not to let your money sit idle. Leaving money in the bank without investing it is like leaving a seed in a drawer. It will never grow and turn into a tree. Rich people know that over time, money sitting idle loses value due to inflation. Things get more expensive, and what you could buy a few years ago for a certain amount, you can't buy anymore today. That's why they invest. They make their money grow and maintain its value over time. The lesson here is, don't think of money just as something to spend, but as a tool to create more money. Whenever you receive an amount, think, how can I use this to grow financially? That's the mindset of rich people. And the good news is that anyone can start thinking this way. It doesn't matter how much you have, what's important is to start investing in your future, instead of spending it all now and having nothing later. This shift in mindset can make a huge difference in your financial life. Instead of thinking only about the present, start planning for the future and use your money in a more strategic way. That's what rich people do. They plan today to reap much more tomorrow. When we talk about time, we need to understand something very important. It's the most valuable resource we have. Unlike money, which you can earn again, time, once it's gone, never comes back. And this is exactly where many people get lost. A lot of people spend hours of their day trying to save small amounts of money, without realizing that they're wasting an even more precious resource, time. Think about it. Some people spend hours looking for discounts or researching deals to save money. Of course, saving is important, but is the time you spend doing that really worth the money you're saving? Sometimes, you spend so much time trying to save that you miss the opportunity to use that time to earn even more money. Rich people understand this very well. They know that time is limited, so they need to use it in the smartest way possible. Instead of spending hours doing things that bring little return, like mowing their own lawn or spending the day looking for deals, they prefer to delegate those tasks. They pay someone to do them, freeing up their time to focus on activities that generate much more value, like investing, learning new skills, or developing a new business. This doesn't mean that saving money is wrong. Of course, it's good to be careful with your finances. But the problem arises when you spend so much time on tasks that only save small amounts, instead of using that time for something more productive. Rich people are always thinking about how to maximize the value of their time. Another thing rich people do very well is outsourcing low-value tasks. If mowing the lawn or washing the car will cost them hours that could be used for something more valuable, they prefer to pay for those services and use the extra time to focus on what really matters. It's a smart trade because, in the end, the time they gain is worth much more than the money spent. An example of this is when someone spends the whole day looking for the cheapest grocery store to save on the monthly shopping. If they had used that time to study, learn something new, or invest in an idea, the return would have been much greater. Rich people understand that well-spent time is the key to building long-term wealth. So, the lesson is, think about the value of your time. Instead of focusing only on saving small amounts, ask yourself, how can I use this time to generate more value? If what you're doing isn't helping you grow or earn more money, maybe it's time to reconsider how you're using your time. After all, time is the most limited resource we have, and using it wisely is one of the secrets to achieving financial success. So, how are you managing your time? Leave it in the comments if you're having any difficulties with this, or if you know someone who is struggling with this issue. I'll help you out in the comments. Many people believe that by saving money in the bank, they are making the best choice. Saving money is good, of course, but the problem is when that money just sits there and doesn't grow. If you leave money in an account or a drawer, it loses value over time. This happens because of inflation. Things get more expensive, and the money you save today won't have the same purchasing power in a few years. Rich people understand that money needs to be working all the time. This means that instead of leaving money sitting idle, they look for ways to invest it so it grows. The concept is simple. Idle money loses value, but invested money can multiply. This is where many people differ. While some save their money just to use it later, the rich invest to ensure that when they need it, it has grown. Now, investing doesn't have to be complicated. You can start with something simple, like investing in an investment fund, buying stocks, or even investing in real estate. The important thing is not to let money sit without generating any kind of return. It's like a plant. If you don't water it, it won't grow. Money works the same way. It needs to be in motion to grow. And here's a tip. Don't think of saved money as a final goal, but rather as a resource to create more money. Rich people know that money is a powerful tool, but it's only useful if it's being used the right way. Saving money is important, but investing is essential to ensure that it continues to grow over time. A simple example. Imagine you saved money in a bank account and left it there for 10 years. If you didn't invest that money, it probably lost value over time due to inflation. Now, if you had invested that amount in an investment fund or real estate, it's very likely that the money would have grown, and today you'd have much more than what you initially deposited. Rich people think long-term. They know that idle money serves no purpose, so they are always looking for ways to invest wisely. This could be in stocks, real estate, businesses, or even in their own education. The important thing is that the money isn't stagnant. Another important point is that the rich aren't afraid to take calculated risks. They know that for money to grow, it must be invested, even if risks are involved. Of course, they do this strategically, seeking the best return with the lowest possible risk. And that's one of the biggest differences between the rich and those who struggle to accumulate wealth. The rich invest to grow, while many save money out of fear of losing it. So, the lesson here is clear. Saving money is good, but leaving it idle can be harmful. If you want your money to grow and work for you, it's essential to invest. Start small if necessary, but don't let your money lose value. Make your money work for you by investing in things that can bring a return and ensure that in the future, you'll have much more than you started with. Rich people do this all the time, and that's how they build their fortunes. When we think about how to make money, most people focus on a single source of income, usually their job or employment. They rely on their monthly salary to pay bills, buy things, and live. The problem with this is that if that source of income disappears, like in the case of a layoff or economic crisis, they are left with nothing. This is a big risk, and that's why rich people think differently. Instead of depending on just one source, they create multiple ways to earn money. Think of it as having multiple money trees. If you only have one tree and it stops producing fruit, you're left with nothing. But if you have several trees, even if one stops producing, you still have others to sustain your income. Rich people do exactly that. They don't just depend on a salary from a job. They have various ways of earning money at the same time. It could be through investments, rental properties, their own businesses, or even hobbies that have turned into income sources. This diversity of income streams is what allows rich people to be more financially secure. If one business fails, they still have other ways to make money. This also takes the pressure off depending on just one thing to survive. By creating different income sources, you protect yourself against the ups and downs of the economy and ensure that you'll always have money coming in, even if something goes wrong. Now, let's be realistic. You don't need to start with multiple sources of income all at once. You can begin with something small, like a side project or an investment. The important thing is to take the first step. Rich people build their multiple income streams over time. They start with a main job, but gradually develop other ways to make money, until at some point, these other sources become so big that the main job can even become optional. Additionally, having multiple sources of income gives you more freedom. When you depend on a single job, you're stuck with it. If the salary isn't good or if the work is stressful, you don't have many options. But if you have other ways to earn money, you can afford to say no to jobs that don't make you happy. You gain more control over your life because you don't rely solely on a boss or a paycheck to survive. Rich people also invest in passive income streams, which means they earn money without having to actively work all the time. This could be from rental properties, stock dividends, or businesses that run on their own. This type of income is powerful because it allows you to make money while you sleep or do other things. Imagine having an online store that keeps selling while you're on vacation. That's passive income, and it's something rich people constantly seek out. Another benefit of having multiple sources of income is that you can face crises with much more ease. If one source of income decreases or disappears, the others will continue to support your lifestyle. This provides a sense of security that few people have, because they're stuck in the cycle of relying on just one income stream. When you diversify how you make money, financial crises become less frightening, because you know you don't depend on just one money tree. The big lesson here is that you don't need to wait for the perfect moment to start creating other income streams. Start now with what you have. It can be something small at first, but over time, those sources will grow. Rich people are always thinking about how to diversify their incomes because it gives them more security and freedom. And the best part is that anyone can do this. It doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch. The important thing is to begin. The more income streams you have, the more protected you'll be from the unexpected, and the better your chances of achieving financial independence. Many people are afraid of using credit, like credit cards or loans, because they think it will always lead to debt. And yes, if not used carefully, credit can be dangerous. But rich people see credit differently. For them, credit is a tool that, when used intelligently, can help build wealth. Most people use credit to buy things they can't afford immediately, like clothes, electronics, or vacations. They pay in installments and often end up struggling with the payments and interest. This is what we call bad debt. You're spending money you don't have to buy something that doesn't bring financial returns. The problem is that this debt doesn't help a person grow financially. It only increases their expenses. Now, look at how rich people use credit. They also take loans and use credit cards, but they do it strategically. They use credit to acquire things that will generate more money in the future, like real estate, stocks, or businesses. This is what we call good debt. Instead of buying something that loses value, they invest in something that will grow and bring in more money. For example, a property that can be rented out. Imagine a rich person buying a property with financing. Instead of paying the full price up front, they take out a loan and pay in installments while renting out the property. The rental income covers the loan payments, and in the end, they own the property outright and still continue receiving rental income. This is an example of how credit can be used to leverage wealth, instead of creating endless debt. Rich people see credit as a way to leverage their investments. They're not afraid to take on credit, as long as it's used for something that will generate financial returns. This is the secret of leverage, using credit to grow, not to sink into debt. Another important difference is that rich people are very mindful when they use credit. They don't spend impulsively. Before taking a loan or using a credit card, they have a clear plan for how they'll use the money and how they'll pay it back. For them, credit is a strategic tool, not a means for uncontrolled spending. Yes, using credit can involve risks, but rich people are willing to take calculated risks. They understand that if the investment is well planned, the return can far exceed the interest paid on the credit. This is part of a growth mindset. So the key point here is, don't be afraid of credit, but learn to use it wisely. Don't use credit to buy things that lose value, like electronics or clothes. Instead, use it to invest in something that can grow and generate more money in the future, like real estate, education, or businesses. This is how rich people make credit work in their favor and build more wealth over time. The difference between using credit smartly and falling into debt lies in mindset and planning. Rich people understand that when used correctly, credit is a powerful tool for financial growth. Learning to use credit the right way can transform your finances and help you achieve your long-term goals. Now, we're moving on to the 7th habit, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like on this video yet. This is very important so that YouTube keeps recommending our content to you, and we can continue helping you. So go ahead and leave a like on this video. It's free, alright? Let's continue. When most people think of retirement, they imagine working for 40 or 45 years and stopping at age 65 to finally enjoy life. That's the traditional plan. But rich people think differently. They don't want to wait until they're 65 to achieve financial freedom. Their goal is to achieve financial independence as soon as possible, so they can live without relying on a fixed salary. Financial independence means you have enough money coming in from sources like investments, rental properties, or businesses, so you no longer need to work to support yourself. Rich people dedicate themselves to building these passive income streams throughout their lives. They invest in stocks, real estate, or create businesses that continue generating money, even when they're not actively working. In this way, the money works for them, not the other way around. While many people are trapped in the work-salary retirement cycle, rich people think about how to escape this cycle as early as possible. For them, it's not about waiting decades to retire, but about creating a lifestyle where work is a choice, not an obligation. And this is only possible when you have other sources of income besides your salary. That's the big difference. While most people focus on earning more at work, the rich focus on creating more through investments and passive income. Additionally, financial independence protects against the unexpected. If one income source fails, rich people still have others to support them. This is very different from most people, who depend on a single job or a retirement fund that may not be enough. Rich people are always thinking about how to build this security. They know that crises can happen, and having multiple income streams ensures they can get through tough times without compromising their lifestyle. Another important point is that for rich people, financial independence doesn't mean stopping work completely. Many continue working because they enjoy what they do, but the difference is they work by choice, not necessity. They have the freedom to decide how and when to work because they already have enough money to live comfortably. Most people dream of retirement, but for the rich, the goal is bigger: to have financial freedom as early as possible. This allows them to enjoy life long before age 65. They can travel, spend more time with family, start new projects, or simply relax without worrying about money. To achieve this financial independence, you need to start early and think long-term. Rich people invest in assets that will grow over time and generate continuous income. They know they can't rely solely on a salary, so they create other income streams, like rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, or businesses that run on their own. The big lesson here is, don't wait until you're 65 to start living. Instead of focusing only on traditional retirement, start planning how to build your financial independence now. This means investing in assets that will generate passive income and give you financial freedom in the future. The sooner you start, the faster you can achieve this freedom and live life without depending on a job or a fixed retirement. The secret of rich people is that they understand financial independence isn't about stopping work, but about having the freedom to choose how to spend your time. If you start thinking and planning now, you can build that freedom and live with much more peace and security. So now that you know the 7 habits that hold the poor back, and that the rich avoid at all costs, the ball is in your court. If you really want to get rich, you need to get rid of these habits as soon as possible. These small mistakes may seem harmless, but they're like stones that stop you from moving forward. And the longer you hold on to them, the harder it will be to break free from this cycle. The good news: now you know what to do. But it's not enough just to understand. You need to take action. You can't just sit around waiting for things to change on their own. Rich people don't sit around waiting for luck to knock on their door. They make decisions and choose to change their habits to improve their lives. And you can do the same. So if you really want to change your life and achieve wealth, stay away from these 7 habits. Start doing things differently today, because your future depends on your choices. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving our content. See you in the next video.